Christians, the supposed 7-year tribulation that so many people believe, which is not biblical whatsoever, gets its derivation from a prophecy by Daniel in chapter 9 of his book. This person consistently outlines the dispensational perspective of a 7-year tribulation, and that the first half of it is a time of peace, and the second half, or 3.5 years, is the part where basically hell breaks loose in the so-called Great Tribulation. But this is not true. The 7-year period that defines the last week of Daniel's prophecy begins with the ministry of Christ, who was at or around 30 years of age. Close to 30 years of age. We see that in this passage here. And Jesus' ministry went on for sometime around 3 to 3.5 years. Half of the 7 years. He started at or around 30. He could have been 29 and a half, but he was close to 30 years old. And when he died on the cross, he was somewhere around 33 to 33 and a half years old. 3.5 years, Jesus' ministry went on. And he was preaching the gospel of peace. So peace and goodwill was preached by him for 3.5 years. And then it was after his ascension where the church began to become persecuted or going through troublous times, going through tribulation. Peter was crucified. Paul, I believe, was crucified. Stephen was the first martyr in the Christian church. But after Christ's ascension, the church endured much persecution. And this went on for a little more than 3.5 years. And there is your 7-year period. The last week of Daniel's prophecy and all of the weeks of Daniel's prophecy were consecutive weeks. There was no parenthetical period between the 69th and the 70th week. If it were, then it would have been 71 weeks. Be provoked, be persuaded.